accessibility, my access information.
As a customer, I want to
be able to change my access, my account access, my account access information when needed. I know that's right.
Okay, so let's so as a customer, so you're already giving me the benefit, but we need the action.
Why do you want to do that?
Yeah.
For security.
So as a customer, I want to change my
password, my access information, or password for security.
So that I can
maybe privacy settings.
So that
I can secure my account. So privacy stuff.
Is that how you spell privacy? Oh, okay. I think I'm. All right, one more.
As a customer, can I go on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, as a customer, I want to log in so that I could make a mobile deposit.
Can we have one more for the PII and then we can begin?
As a developer, I want to create a picture capture. So the checks can be.
As a developer or as a customer?
As a developer.
Okay.
Remember, there are different users. That's a functional requirement.
So you're writing more for the development aspect of it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess my question would be, would that be more under tasking or would that be a user story?
More like a task.
Wow. So the developer is also.
Here's what I would say. Right? As a customer, I would love to have the ability to.
Because a user story has to involve both the business value and the functional requirement, like you just mentioned, right?
So
all of them have to be captured in there.
But Olu, like we said, a user story is written from an end user's perspective. And this situation, an end user is a customer. So we focus on the customer. We have to satisfy the customer.
Correct. So as a customer, I would like to have the ability to deposit. Did we say deposit checks?
Yeah, we're working on the PII. The PII.
I'd like to have the ability to access my account using biometrics.
As a customer, I would.
So I just to add, right? Because a user story wants to capture the who, the why, and the what, right? And also the 3 C's.
So give me your understanding of what the 3 C's is. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, can you give me an understanding of what the 3 C's mean to you?
The card, conversation, and confirmation.
Okay, so how do you use that when writing a user story?
One, the requirement should be able to fit on a card.
So
Card part.
yeah, it fits on the card, right? The conversation captures the what, right? And confirmation is the why.
So the I don't know if how I can explain this in a better way. So the purpose of the 3 C's, right, is to help guide when it comes to making sure that that user story is feasible. I don't know if that makes sense. So making sure that it's small enough to be able to be worked on. So it's a technique used when it comes to making sure of clarity, making sure of conciseness, and making sure that it's small enough. So when it comes to the first C, right, a small card, that user story should be written small. It should be small enough that it will fit a card. So when you start seeing user story that are like so huge or they're written so much information on there, then that means it's not concise. We need to write it, simplify it a little bit more. That's when the card comes in place. We want to be able to simplify that story so it's clear, it's concise, and everyone can understand it better. And then it will help with making sure it's also small enough to be able to be captured within that sprint. The conversation comes in place, whereas we need to be having this discussion, right? Like what we're doing right now, we need to be discussing about that user story. Does it make sense to you? Does it make sense to you? Are you able to understand it? So that conversation needs to be had within your team and the product owner, and hence that's where the discovery process comes in place, right? We're having this discussion, making sure it's clear, it's concise, everyone is understanding it. We're good to go because we have a clear understanding of what it is. Then what is the other C?
Confirmation.
I think you said confirmation.
Confirmation. So that's where the PO comes in place, right? Where we're saying we understand this. The PO is saying, yes, I agree with that. Yes, we're all in agreement with that. Yes, we're good to go. That's where the confirmation comes in place. Even the team is saying, yes, we're good. We understand this. It's clear. It's small enough. We can, this story is ready, or this story can be done, right? And that also can even be part of your definition of ready, or whatever the case may be, depending on the team you're working with or the organization you're working with. So that's where the 3 C's comes in place. Does that help?
Vicky, quick question. Would that be almost like the same thing as using invest? It's the same thing, right? But it sounded more like invest to me. Okay.
Yeah, so those are techniques, right? So
no, so okay, one of the techniques, just like invest.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Thank
you. Vicky, before you move forward, and I know this user story topic is very, very important. You want to ask Olu if he's clarified about what you just said. It's very, very important when it comes to user stories. You want to ask him if he's clarified, please.
Olu, does that provide clarity?
Yeah, it
okay.
did.
All right. So as a customer, I want to access, I'm sorry, I was not able to capture the rest. As a customer, I want access to, I want access to what? I'm sorry, what were we saying?
You might still need to cancel one too. I want to access.
So I want access, or what is it that we're writing? And this is for the PII, right?
Yes, you're correct.
So I want access to what?
Maybe using biometrics. I don't know.
Or it could be as a customer, I want to log in so I can have an access to my account.
I want
log in to have to my account.
So if you're saying login, right, we need to be a little more clear. But I'm just going to write that, and then for the purpose of refinement, I want to log in so that I can have access. Didn't someone say biometric?
Yes.
Okay, I think that sounds good. All right, so when you've written your user story, you can literally just click on it. Why does it not let? Okay, you can literally double click on it, and then it will bring up this page, which will allow you to now start defining it a little bit more. Come on, I'm trying to make it bigger, but
You can start adding your task.
all right. All right, so as a customer, I want to access my account remotely through Android so that I can make payments, right? That was the user story that was attached. So right here, you can always attach. I know there's some, if you have any prototype or markups or anything that you created, you can always just attach it and it will tell you to upload it to that. Create subtask. I know for my team it's called task. So you can create subtask or create task, or you can even link the, so let's link this. So you can link this user story to an epic, or you can link it to if it's a child or if it's a parent, depending on how your organization function. So we're gonna link it. So as we're linking it to an epic, we're gonna go on here where it says block is blocked by, you wanna hit it to relate to. And then when you hit relate to, it's gonna tell you to search. We wanna relate it to an epic, and our epic was ability for customer to, what is our epic? It was this one, right? The NP1. I think that was it. That was our epic. Is that correct? So you can just,
Okay, yeah.
is that correct?
Yes, you're correct.
Okay, so you can click that and you hit link, and it will automatically link this user story to that epic. And then you can even do the rest for all of that. And that's how you're able to link your user story to your epic. So now description. So for this description, that's when you start either writing your acceptance criteria or writing more information about that story. So this is where now you start having discussion. The PO may come with their own acceptance criteria, but that doesn't mean it cannot be changed. When you go into your backlog refinement, those information can be changed, adjusted, or remain the same.
A question. So at what point do we verify if our user story is testable? Or like someone mentioned the invest model there.
So
point do we
so those, when it comes to using those techniques such as invest criteria, CCs, that's your backlog refinement, right? When your PO comes in with all the stories, you're gonna meet for your backlog refinement, because you have to have a backlog refinement before you start your sprint or before you start your sprint planning. So during that backlog refinement, you guys are going to meet, you guys are going to go through each user story one at a time. And then the team gets to ask questions. So for this one now, let's start with the first user story, right? We're saying, as a customer, I want to access my account remotely through Android so that I can make payments. Does this user story, so some questions you can ask is that, well, are we saying the customer can only access their account through Android? What about people who have iPhone? What about people who do not have phone at all? What about people who do not have network? So is this or someone can even say, this does not sound clear to me. It just sounds too much. Or do we need to create other user stories to make this more valuable? So these are certain questions that you may start asking the PO. And then the PO might say, you know what, that makes sense. Let's change this a bit, right? So if we're saying, uncle, look at me and my African self. The team might say, well, it doesn't make sense for us to say we're going to do it through Android, because like I said, we already have
Raise hand. Go and bring the vitamins for me. Bring the gummies. As a matter of fact,
Good. Me too.